This is a test.
Slight in. What movie is that with Clint Eastwood? Toll-free number to join us, folks. 800-259-9231. 800-259-9231. And we'll start going to your phone calls here in a moment. My point is that it's not High Plains Drifter, but it's kind of a remake of it where Eastwood goes to the mining town and they want the people to give up their claim where they found gold. The railroad does with the big miner company. And then they send in the detectives to start killing people. Folks, those are true stories. There were hundreds of events like that in Colorado, you name it, but also in New Jersey and places where they would show up with the Army, or they would show up with hundreds of Pinkerton or other security guys and just start Gatling gunning towns, just taking property that wasn't even theirs. And people started arming. They called them Sagebrush Rebellion, started killing them. People started beating the Army, beating Pinkerton. People started organizing, going, you want to start killing? Let's start killing. And people would also find out who the Pinkerton people's family were in other groups, and they'd go to another state and kill them. Not their family, but the people that ran it. Frontier people started, going, you want to hit us? We'll hit you right back. So it all went underground in national security. And then we say, America doesn't kill people. It's like in The Godfather where Kay says to Michael Corleone,
Alex Jones,
says to him, okay, my dad has people killed sometimes. That's what presidents and senators do. And she goes, Michael, presidents and senators don't have people killed. He goes, who's being naive now? Okay. And see, the argument is, and it's really true because The Godfather's based on real mafia families, real names. They just changed them. That's on record. Mario Puzo. It's got all the main characters in it who were real people. And when you expand on all of this, the argument is well, the old mafia just stood up when the police were their own mafia. They would stand up for you. But then notice how that mafia turned into something just as bad or worse. And that's how this gang society operates. And pretty soon, that's all you've got left. Pretty soon, all you've got left is gangs. And then what gang are you in? And then gangs tend to stop working. And everybody joins a gang, and then society collapses. Or they go out and grab the peasants and put them in slave camps to produce for them. But then slave camps aren't very productive. So it gets to the point where even the heads of the countries can't even get good food or good clothing, like North Korea. And they will wreck everything if they have their way. They will wreck everything.
Everything?
Because why shouldn't big corporations, if they have a mafia government, why shouldn't General Electric give every year on average over $100 million to the Democratic Party? They also give the Republican to have them come in and shut down every power plant they don't own and then double and triple your prices. Why shouldn't they?
I don't know.
Why shouldn't we have rolling blackouts now all over the country if we don't have enough infrastructure? Why shouldn't they shut down our factories and pay $20+ billion of taxpayer money to move General Motors, Volt, Cadillac, you name it, to China? So they can have robots replace the people and have the people go die in the streets starving to death. Not even helping with Chinese. I mean, why not? We'll put up with it. Why not? Because they have disdain for us. You look at Rahm Emanuel, who was the real president, till he got kicked out by some other insiders because he was so arrogant and so mentally ill, reportedly, and sent to be the mob boss in Chicago, where I'm sure he can listen on 1530. He routinely at Democratic Party events grabs butcher knives and starts going, stabbing the table and foaming at the mouth, going, murder everyone, murder, murder the Republicans, murder, murder. And he'll be in meetings with Obama and just go, shut up. And literally, just slap Obama on the arm. Just start stumbling around on a power trip. I mean, this is what runs America. And then he gets up on TV and goes, we're going to have national conscription. Your kids are going to serve in a domestic armed force in America, working for us. I mean, just crazy mafia. Just, your kids work for us, we're going to arm them. And then you get the training manuals, and it's to fight gun owners. I mean, these are just Joe Stalin wrapped in Hitler, wrapped in the gangsters of old. But now they've got satellites and drones and robots and weapons, and they're just running around with jets landing all the kidnapped kids on record, loading them up in Chicago, in Houston. They fly them out to Saudi Arabia, Thailand. Local cops try to expose them.
Really, Alex? Well, at the same time, the ground squirrel is taking over the ground feeder. He's down there munching away on the bird food. So, I'm wondering, are we the birds? Is the ground squirrel the communists? Or the capitalists? The government? Who is the ground squirrel? Speaking of the government, there's the mail lady delivering the mail. I don't know, can you see her? She's with the government. Well, wait a minute, what was I talking about? Oh, the ground squirrel. He's pushing the birds out. I don't know, is he the mafia? Is that Jimmy Hoffa reincarnated? Are you birds the Teamsters? Wait a minute, or is the ground squirrel Al-Qaeda? Well, I don't know. Let's see what Alex has to say here. Oh, he's selling something.
Or 800-409-5633.
Is this the Cal Bent Soap Company here?
Digestive health is the key to wellness and elimination of toxins. That
The elimination of
Digestive
toxins.
health is the key to wellness and elimination of toxins. And Pro-EM1
Getting rid of
probiotic cleanse is
bad
the key
things.
to digestive health. Pro-EM1 is a powerful liquid probiotic, strong enough to cleanse, gentle enough to use every day. Pro-EM1 is dairy, wheat,
We
and
better
soy-free.
save the world,
Contains all natural and
or
certified
at least
organic
America and the
ingredients, contains no
Constitution.
preservatives or animal products, supports a healthy digestive and immune system,
And
supports weight loss, improves absorption of food nutrients,
we need to
controlling yeast infections, is never freeze-dried, and uses
prevent
groups of live, viable, beneficial microbes to
toxins
cleanse and remove toxins.
in our
Order
digestive
Pro-EM1
system.
Daily probiotic cleanse at Terraganics.com. Spelled
Is the
T-E-R-A-G-A-N-I-X.com.
toxins like
Terraganics.com.
Al-Qaeda too? And they're invading our colon?
3678. That's 866-369-3678. Pro-EM1, the raw probiotic.
I'm not sure. Sorry about the table.
Clean your body with Supernatural Silver.
Oh,
a
there's
non-toxic
silver.
disinfectant for the body that can be used internally or externally. It helps the immune system by killing the bacteria, viruses, and mold.
The viruses.
This helps to reduce the workload of your already overworked immune system and allows the immune
I think if I buy any silver, I want to put it in my safe,
Natural Silver can help
not in my stomach. But
conditions, and it has the
I
ability
don't know.
to kill over 143 types of bacteria, viruses, mold, and yeast. Supernatural Silver's patented technology.
The ground squirrel is still there.
Research with over 180 scientific
Some of the birds have approached the ground feeder.
hospitals, research institutions, and nursing
One is actually on it,
Supernatural Silver can change your life.
but he's holding his own.
Naturalsilver.com. Use the promo code SILVER2013 for 20%.
Is this some kind of takeover of the ground feeder? A leverage buyout? Maybe that ground squirrel's Donald Trump.
Free your slaves. Hell, we act like a bunch of
Oh, I didn't mean to spit.
scouts.
Gosh.
You go out in the field at night and squeal like a dying bunny rabbit. Good chance.
Is that what old people do? I don't know.
If you roll over on your back and act like you're prey,
Here's Alex again.
coyotes are now killing Americans routinely. Never before happened in recorded history. Only wolves would do that if starving, but people fall down groveling and crying when they see them at a park. They think, well, that's something to eat. The American people act like a prey animal. And so we're growing predators faster than you can count them. And they tell us how they're doing it for our safety. I'm going to go to your phone calls, but up on Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com, Superman goes bad, joins the NSA. And I like to hijack popular memes to then illustrate that, you know, he has X-ray vision. He's looking through the building there at the lady in the shower. It's not a risque photo. It just illustrates that actually with Connect systems and smart meters, Connect can look through your walls and see you in the shower. You should probably add that to the write-up there. But
What?
Don Salazar heard me talk about this yesterday and put it out, and our great graphics crew came up with that graphic. They did some others, I guess they put on the cutting room floor, but they ought to add those to it. I'm going to send that out on Twitter at Real Alex Jones as well right now. But right now, speaking of right now, let's go to Truth Raider in Oregon. You're on the air.
You're on the air. Truth
Good
Raider.
afternoon, Alex Jones and all the info warriors out there in the world. This is the Truth Raider.
Okay,
Getting in
slow
your
down.
face with the facts. You were talking about amnesty and talking about the borders being wide open. I have an issue with a next door neighbor. I completely don't want to, have any contact with them. I leave them alone. I go out my back door to avoid them completely.
He's a back
I
door
went out last night
man.
to go up to the store, get something to eat. The guy's on the other side of the street heckling me, and he's whistling at me. So I ignore him. I come back, go around the other side of the building on the other side of the street. He's on the other side of the street ready to confront me.
Whistling.
They say, hey, what's up? What's up? And I said, I don't want to talk to you. Oh, and then he starts cussing at me.
Oh, that's terrible.
Well, that's what you're doing to me and doing to all of us. I told him I paid $4,000 and moved 1,000 miles to get away from you. I went into one of my Alex Jones rants with him. Oh, I'll call the police. I'll call the police.
Well, you're talking about an illegal alien that you think doesn't like you because you're a different skin color?
Well, I think that he knows
That you're
I'm
gay?
trying to avoid them. When I first moved into my apartment here, I tried to be friendly. I said, hello, how are you? And he just gave me a dirty look.
Well, I haven't had problems with the illegals, whether they be from Mexico or Eastern Europe or whatever. My issue is that they tend to vote anti-gun, pro-government, pro-corrupt government, pro-mafia, because that's the cultures they're coming from. Most countries are mafia-driven. America's been mafia-driven.
Then why
We're
did
trying
they
to get away
leave,
from that.
Alex?
Not supercharge it, but
Wait a minute.
I think that I haven't had the experiences you're talking about.
Why don't they just stay?
My experiences with the illegals that make me mad is they're like above the law. We have crew that live in apartments, some of them, and the illegals are allowed to do whatever they want, but citizens, whether you be white, black, Hispanic, whatever, get the book thrown at you. So I think being in the system, we're seen as chumps by the mafia government, the mafia police. And my issue is, but so I mean, you're saying you've had experiences, xenophobic
Oh, you've had
towards you because
experiences.
You're not
Going
the
out your
same
back
as an immigrant
door.
group, or what?
In his
I'm an
apartment?
American. I've been in the military, former retired military. I fought for the sovereignty and the freedom of this country, and it's being eviscerated.
Were you in the Salvation Army, buddy?
The process is being eviscerated. I'm not happy about that. I left
Eviscerated?
California to get away from all that's going on down there. I mean, all the host of all the issues concerning illegal aliens, the gangsters, the gang culture, the crime along the border, all of that stuff. Trouble with a relative of mine, an elderly, my stepmother, who had lots of troubles with them for years. They did damage to her property, broke into her place for years.
That's
there's
not
no
good.
doubt that it's a crime wave coming out of Mexico.
Too bad she didn't have a
You're
gun.
supposed to be politically correct and not talk about it. I mean, Mexico is a collapsed.
Can't have one in
failed
California,
state,
I guess.
And obviously, then people think they're not liked, and then you think you're not liked, and the body language intensifies that. And I have run into the whole gang culture. And again, you find the gang culture everywhere. I've got family in East Texas, and I've worked there and been there in the summer, and people come over at the community pool and say, "Get out of here, you Yankee." because anybody from Dallas must be a Yankee. But I hear you. It's just exactly the gang mentality I'm talking about. And the gang mentality has a way of putting you into it, even if you don't want to be what they call racist. It's really gang or tribal. And if you look at Latin America, Africa, Europe, whatever, you'd have one group of Scots killing the other group of Scots until the English invaded, and then they'd unify. And in Africa, you'll have animus killing and it's just
What's
what
that?
humans do.
That music transitioned to what? The soap company?
That's into science and liberty and freedom and justice and unify around those ideals.
He doesn't want to talk to this guy. That's how he got rid of him. He just started talking about stuff. Now we're going to commercial. He got a button he pushes, that's it for him. I want to hear him bitching about his stepmom. He goes out the back door. They whistle at him. What the heck is that all about? Alex, you need to get better guests and callers. I probably should call him. Ah, here it is. The soap company.
This is an amazing deal, and you will love the way real soap makes your skin feel.
Yeah,
Call
baby.
1-800-340-7091.
Oh, yeah. My skin. He's concerned with my colon and my skin. Alex, I really appreciate your concern. And my digestive system. Oh, gold?
But if you don't have a home security system,
Ah, security.
you're missing a critical weapon in your arsenal for home protection. When you're sleeping or away from home, watching out for
It sounds like it's battery operated, which be alright, but easily disabled. I think chickens and geese are better. Well, on a dog, I guess. Years ago on the farm, Crutcher's farm, we had a pig. Put a ring in his nose, I guess they call that. Ring, so he wouldn't root. And he just guarded the farm. He wouldn't stay in the pen. We call him Houdini. He organized mass escapes. M-A-S-S, mass. Oh, the birds, they're getting ready for their Alfred Hitchcock audition. Anyway, Houdini was our guard pig. Well, we had 3 dogs, too. Or 4, sometimes 4, but... yeah, he had big teeth. Hogs are tough. A watch hog. You heard a warthog, we had a watch hog. Houdini. Well, eventually he had to go. The way of all flesh, pig flesh. He ended up in the bologna factory, I guess. But he served as well for a while. Yeah, couldn't keep him in the pen. He just kept getting out, and he'd show other pigs how to get out. And then we'd have the pig rodeo, rounding up all the pigs and running them back in there. Herding pigs. Pig herders. And Houdini'd run right up to the fence with the rest of them, but he was the last one, but he wouldn't go in. You can't fight City Hall sometimes. Well, the ground squirrel seems to have left. And the other birds are back on the ground feeder. See what happens, kids, if you don't have a job? You have to feed the birds, make videos. Drink a little Java from the Keurig. 1 cup at a time. Well, I guess this test is about over, and I probably actually should get on the basement and work on the walls. I don't think I need to water today because I think it's going to rain. I hope it does. I really don't want to spend money watering the lawn if I don't have to. Last year it was bad news here. We had a drought. It's a curse. Everything dried up. Spent well over $500 watering the lawn to keep it alive. Some people didn't. They just let it go dormant. I understand that. But this year we had a lot of rain. Matter of fact, we had floods. Some people would think maybe too much rain. My friend Joe lives by the Wapsie, and he got flooded out. He had to leave his house for a few days. Well, you know, it's not very bright in here. I hope this thing works. Always check your lighting. It's hard being the producer, the director, and the actor. The gaffer. The script writer. I don't produce the music score, but I arrange. Well, let's see. No, how would you say that? Maybe I'm the arranger of the music score. I don't have any music right now. I could. I've got this amazing phone. It's like a little computer, it really is. And let's see what music is up here right now. Oh, John Siri. The cosmic ocean, waves of sound, meditating on the dancing starlight. The Mystic Master would like this. John Siri, I had one of his albums on a CD in 2003. This is a long story. I'll give you the short version. I used it to sleep with, or get to sleep. Well, the birds seem to like it too. 2003, Iraqi invasion. Why were we in Iraq, by the way? Wow. What was that all about? You can imagine people having trouble sleeping. Anyway, I listened to John Siri. Put the headphones on. And, you know, it's sort of behavioral conditioning, I suppose. But it worked. Oh, did I mention Ambien? which I'm trying to get off of now again. Crows are coming now. Maybe they like John Siri. There's one up on the roof. Yeah, he's coming over here. He's walking toward me. Here it is, John Siri, come on. Oh, sorry about that. In addition to that, one of my favorites. James Brown. Make it funky. I'm glad we had this little chat. I also had James Brown with me in Iraq. That was listening to him every now and then. I started listening to James Brown in 1964. Me and my friends discovered him, I guess. White guys in Iowa. James Brown. We loved his music. One time we were going to go see him in Rockford. And Raz, we were driving with the Mystic Master, and Raz had some kind of Pontiac. And we're on our way to Rockford, and somebody throws a cigarette in the back seat. Or no, they threw it out the window and it went to the back seat. Was that Dorsey? I don't remember. Anyway, the car started on fire. So we had to stop, put out the fire. The floor mats were on fire. And it sort of took away our steam. So we turned around and went back, but we were going to go see James Brown. And then one time with the Iowa State wrestling team on the Eastern Tour. The tour was over with. Hofstra, Maryland, Lehigh. We were staying around D.C. Nick went to sleep, so Toonstra stole the keys, or Marcusi, I don't remember. And Dushin and Willie Hoosman and I, we all drove into D.C. because we were going to see James Brown. And I don't know how we did this, but we parked across the theater. Big station wagon, Nick rented. They're all sleeping. And we got out of the car and we started walking across the street, and everybody stopped what they were doing, talking, and just looked at us. And they were all black people. I mean, we didn't particularly care that they were black. We just wanted to see James Brown. And Willie, who was black, by the way, from Waterloo, Willie Hoosman, state champ, he just kind of put his arms out and said, "Hold it, guys. Stop." So we stopped in the middle of the street. And he says, "We can't go here." It was like Willie knew we weren't welcome. So that was my second attempt to see James Brown. And I guess it wasn't in the cards. But we used to go to a place called Merrily Lakes over in Illinois. It was a farm, a dairy farm, converted into a nightclub for kids. Imagine how desperate this guy must have been. His name was Leo. I saw Jan and Dean there once, by the way. Anyway. One of our favorite songs was Rufus Thomas, Walking the Dog. You know, totally black song. You know, this is like 64, 65. White kids from Iowa and Illinois. And I used to dance with Kay Kimmer from Morrison. And she's... oh, I can't describe it, kids. If you don't know how to do it, I'll show you how to walk the dog. And it was very tribal. Walking the dog. I wonder whatever happened to Kay. Kay Kimmer. Are you out there, Kay? Do you watch YouTube? Well, kids, it's about time that I find the off button here and get to work. I'm glad we had these little moments where we can share things. Wow, Alex Jones to Kay Kimmer. That's quite a pantheon, isn't it? Of ideas. A lot of characters. Ted Toonstra. Gone, unfortunately. Willie Hoosman got killed in a car wreck when he joined the Air Force. Victor Marcuse, he's still with us. He lives in Waterloo. Jim Dushin, alive and well in Vegas. Him and Doris and Weston. And Phil Dorsey, I mentioned Phil and Raz, they're alive. Raz is in Clinton visiting right now. Dorsey lives in Morrison. I wonder if he knows Kay Kimmer. Well, anyway. There you have it, kids. Another installment. Redpanther out.